Out here with TAAC, beginning of year 2. Halfway through this hike, we're about 4.5 miles into a 9-miler.
What were your thoughts going into the YOMP?
My thoughts going into the YOMP. I kind of got a little freaked out, to be honest with you, because
Yeah.
David's first story to me was how it rained, and then his leg got all blistered up and was bleeding by the end of the hike.
Yeah.
And he had to push through the entire thing, 55 miles, with his prosthetic continually slipping off of his leg, creating blisters, heat rash, and making his leg all bloody. I definitely got a little freaked out by his story of his first gold. And then I got to, that second marker with right before you, or right after you get through the little bog, and that that pretty well kicked my butt. But after that, I felt great. I mean, I feel like after the bog, I was unstoppable until I got back onto the hard pack asphalt.
Yeah.
And that's when my knees started woo. That was tough. What about you? How was your
My thoughts going into it?
what was your thoughts going into it?
Honestly, thankfully for me, I kind of just I try to prepare for it as much as I could. I've never done something that long before, and like you, I was very concerned. Especially, I'm asking for donations to do this thing, and I'm I don't want to be a liar and not truly try to do 54, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm trying to be smart. I'm not spring chicken anymore.
That's spring chicken, dude.
Yeah, I kind of just took it as it came, and luckily I didn't learn it was we had to do it in 24 hours until the week prior.
Yeah.
Sandy read it and she told me. I was well, I guess I got to do it in 24 hours.
Right?
Yeah, kind of like you. When I was 18, my knee locked up, and then when I got to that paved road, there was people that were just complaining.
Yep.
And I was I gotta fucking get away from these people.
Yep, negativity right there.
Yeah, so
all that energy.
I just stepped it out, and I kind of just hit that flow state, I feel, all the way to silver. Had good conversations, and then we had the dramatic thing at silver. It sounds like both of us did, where we got held longer there than we wanted to.
Yeah, that will always stick as kind of a funny moment in my mind, because right after getting to silver, I was trying to get some blisters taken care of.
And you're pretty delusional too.
Yeah, I was a little delirious at that point in time. And the lady that was helping me out asked me for my phone number. Or not my phone number, she asked me for my number. She was relating it to the race number that I had so that she could track the bib,
Yeah.
I thought she was hitting on me and asked for my phone number, so I was delirious there. I started giving her my American phone number, this Scottish lady.
Yeah.
It was fucking crazy.
There, man, I was they treated me so well there that I was telling them, y'all need to stop. I got to keep going.
Yeah.
Y'all are treating me too good and I don't want to go. I got pizza in my hand.
Yep.
I'm chilling, hanging out,
Yeah, nice massage.
Yeah, and I ended up being there for, I want to say it was 2 or 3 hours. It was a long time. But thankfully I worked out the way it was supposed to, man.
So what are your thoughts going into year 2, especially as a mentor? What are you thinking?
So mentor obviously adds a different level of stress, because I want to make sure that whoever I mentor has the right stuff and they have their packs ready. So I'm kind of already factoring in that, lessons learned from last year. Definitely one of the things is to pack lighter. I have too much weight, and I didn't know there was as much support at these aid stations. So I think for me it's just trying to get a list in my head, so that way people can have everything they need, but at the same time not overpack so much where it's gonna hinder them from completing whatever their goals are. And then also how to, if I'm gonna slinky between the group, or if I'm just gonna wait at a certain point, and then kind of like you, where you're gonna figure out which time you need and then continue on and just kind of slink it that way.
Yeah, my intent is to really be the pace setter for the group that I'm gonna be mentoring for this go around, and see how it does. By that I mean I intend to walk at the pace that will get me to cross the finish line near the 24-hour mark. That way anybody who I pass inevitably knows I need to pick up the pace.
Right.
it's exciting, man. I'm definitely looking forward to walking it with you this year and
Yeah.
having that that moment of elation again. God, that was wild.
It was. That was something I didn't expect. There was a lot of things that happened on this trip that I didn't expect, but I was completely grateful for, and I wouldn't have. I feel like I wouldn't have achieved or got to that point of elation and kind of shedding of self, if you will, if I didn't push through and like really overcome like the physical, mental, and all these different aspects of the
Yeah, I mean,
journey.
because like, what point in that hike was it that you stopped? Because I remember hearing, like, there was a point where you stopped and you like had to really hype yourself up, right?
Yeah, I don't know if I necessarily have myself up. It was silver, which was probably like the
That was
hardest.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, because my knee had locked up about mile 18, and I was really pushing through it, and I was really asking myself, like, is the reward gonna be worth it? Like, if I, like, I don't know, shred my meniscus or whatever's going on with my knee. I think what it really was a one, overusage, two, lack of conditioning, because I only had like about a month and a half to prepare for this yomp.
Yeah.
I feel like that was my hardest one, and then the third one was I couldn't find my pack and to get my dry kit because they didn't want to let me go because they were concerned about hypothermia, even though they're the ones that took off all my gear. And I started fucking shivering in the tent.
You know,
it was cold as shit.
they actually tried stopping me at that checkpoint right before you leave. So
Yeah. Well, I had to wait
moving
for, because didn't they have you wait for somebody?
no, I moved. I was by myself from then on to the end.
Yeah, you told me about that. They made me wait for somebody.
Yeah, I was.
They're like, you can't leave the checkpoint unless you're with somebody else.
Yeah.
And luckily, there was a crew there that was kind of just about to leave, so I went with them.
Definitely just stepped it out.
Yeah, man on a mission.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm thinking, I think this is going to be a good year, man. I'm definitely looking forward to the challenges of pushing myself through it. And
my goal this year is to do it under 24. This year it was like 25:15. Or last year was 25:15 for me because of all the shenanigans.
that's the point too, right? Like, you know, I think that's one of the big things that I really love about the community that we're building and we have here already is that competitive sense is not in comparison of other people. It's more in an attempt to be better than you were previously.
Exactly. Yeah, and that's really what this game is. It's not. I mean, this game of life is like to continually push yourself and achieve what you can. We get lost in the sauce by comparing ourselves to others, especially when we're younger. But then we lose sight of ourselves, and then it becomes about other people rather than ourselves. And I'm not saying that from a selfish standpoint, but it's more so like, how do you get your community better? And that's by getting yourself better and challenging yourself and then motivating others to do the same.
Yeah, I think one of the best things that you can give to the world is the best version of yourself, and that might sound selfish, but it's true in the sense that, you know, if you really want to lead others to do better themselves, then you need to lead by example.
Exactly. And I think that's what our world is lacking nowadays.
Yep.
But that's a whole different
Yeah, it is.
topic.
Dude, I love talking to you, Simon. I do.
Talking to you.